All right, what's up, guys? This is Tom Burkhart from car-revs Daily in the 2016 GMC Terrain Denali all-wheel drive. Video drive review of the 2016 Terrain. I'm really impressed with the car. This is absolutely like a do-it-all crossover. It is so good that it's really, frankly, pretty surprising that you can get the GMC Terrain for 2016 from just $24,000 is the base price. So of course this Terrain is much more loaded than that, and has a bunch of awesome features as well as the full Denali trim line. So let's touch on the handling and the drive manners, and then talk about what's new for 2016 pricing, and finally we will. Yeah, I think that's it. So it's drive manners, what's new, and then pricing and trim lines. Okay, so 2016 GMC Terrain Denali. This thing drives really well, and obviously we have two very critical options to help deliver that really engaging driving experience. You can see I'm just using the Manumatic buttons on the top of the shift column for the 6-speed automatic transmission. The two options that this has, first off, it has all-wheel drive. So from the base price of this vehicle of like $35,000, we also add $1,500 for the 3.6 liter direct injected V6 engine, which is the best upgrade you will ever make. It is so much faster than I was ever expecting. And this truck actually puts out 301 horsepower and 272 foot-pounds of torque, which makes it the most powerful vehicle in its class, which is like pretty surprising, I think. And it really is quick. I think I was too enthusiastic about the Land Rover LR4 feeling rapid last week, because right after I got out of it and got into the Terrain, I was like, wow, this GMC is much faster. So let's do a quick little acceleration. So those are the options we have. We have the V6 and then all-wheel drive. And many of the Terrains sold do not have all-wheel drive or the V6 because it does come with standard front drive. But this V6 really makes the car, and with all-wheel drive, it has very nice levels of traction, overall sophistication on the road. We have a lot more sound insulation and ride comfort for 2016, as well as all of these fancy Denali upgrades outside and in. For mechanically, the Denali is identical to the Denali is identical to any of the others, like the SLT and the SL1 and 2. But it does have dual flow dampers, so those are special shocks that allow like a more comfortable ride quality when we're just like cruising along the road like this, but can also at the ends of their travel they get significantly more just firmer. It's able to allow better body control while keeping it softer for most driving scenarios. So that's a win-win. You obviously want those, and that is a Denali exclusive. So those shocks are really nice, and I think absolutely contribute to the ride quality, which is very good. I mean, very good. You're still in an SUV because you're sitting up high, of course, but I mean, this thing is really pretty chuckable, pretty comfortable, quiet. It's overall like been a really pleasant surprise. So that is the only mechanical change for the Denali package. But it's nice and it delivers. Okay, I know what I was gonna say. It's extra critical for the Denali's standard 18-inch wheels, but we have the optional 19-inch rims on this test truck. So oftentimes, like the bigger wheel styles, you'll pick, the more bumpy the ride will be, and the steering will become like heavier, and the vehicle just will behave really differently. So it's nice that they've accounted for the biggest wheel size, the 19s, in the engineering and development of the Terrain Denali for 2016. So that's pretty cool overall. Very impressive stuff. So we're still in manual mode here, so we'll pop it down to do a quick acceleration. So we're into first. Sorry, I missed it. That was operator error there. So pretty quick, obviously. Sounds pretty nice. 301 horsepower through a 3.6 liter V6 is very, very good. 6-speed automatic transmission. This truck is pulling like 6.5 to 6.7s to 60 miles an hour. I mean, it's that forceful in its power. So that's really a huge asset for the truck. Also lets it tow 3,500 pounds, which is the most ever for a Terrain, I believe. And the V6 is, of course, the dents you take versus the 2.4 liter 4-cylinder base engine, it gets significantly worse fuel economy. We're at 1723 is the official numbers for the Terrain Denali V6 all-wheel drive, and that's worse than the base front drive, which can do 32 miles per gallon on the highway. But you know, that's all these numbers, you know, are very, very subjective and really depend on how you drive the truck. So in my hands, it's actually been getting pretty good fuel economy. Like the top we've gotten is like 26, and the worst is like, you know, 20. So that's pretty good considering how you've seen me drive. And the Terrain has a huge fuel tank, so like you never really have to fill up. You fill this thing up and it's got like 500-mile range. I mean, those are like really just user-friendly. Well, some of the user-friendly elements in the GMC Terrain Denali, but there are many. There really are many. So let's talk about updates for 2016. So the 2016 GMC Terrain has new styling for all the trim levels. That includes like a new hood, new bumpers front and rear, new fascias, and other detailing. Like all the grills are new, for example, and on this Denali package we go all out. So everything is body color and painted this crystal red tint coat that is like a $500 option. Everything is painted and it looks really, really nice. It has deep sill extensions on the side, which look really cool. They make it look like sort of a concept car. And then all of the bright work that is normally chrome for the Terrains is a matte satin effect for the Denali, which is nice, which looks really, really classy, particularly on dark colored trucks. What I don't love is the giant, like, bright 3-segment Denali grille in the front that has the classic sort of like drilled circular look throughout its effect. It's just really bright. It's not a favorite for its overall look, even versus like the SLE and the SLT, you know, the cheaper versions of the Terrain. So that being said, the Denali does have a lot of visual punch outside with its, you know, Denali badges, giant wheels, the body color elements, satin mats, bright work. I mean, it's really like a pretty classy. It's a classier truck than you would expect. So that's obviously all new for 2016 outside, and all of the Terrains from like the SLE and SLT grades up, I believe, have a new DRL lighting setup shared with the Denali, which is twin like pillars of white LEDs up the outer edges of the bumper. So that's really, it looks great. It looks awesome. And with the automatic headlights on, those are just on all the time in like a super bright daytime setting. And then you can also have just the parking lights on, which engage the LEDs, or you can go, you know, to the full headlights if you wanted, which are now projector beams for the low beams, which sounds really good, but they're just halogens. They're not HIDs. So the lights look really, really yellow versus the LEDs right below them. But that's something that you could fix on the aftermarket, you know, in like 30 minutes and for $30. So not to really worry about that, and probably not worth paying like $1,000 upgrade if there is one for HID lamps. So that is, so they all look pretty new, but this Denali looks especially new, and outside and in. So inside we have, for the Denali, we have like all this like leather wrapped elements for the dash, exclusive leather for the seats, and more sound dampening, classier fixtures. Like the steering wheel has really nice soft touch leathers, like a special Denali icon there. You got illuminated sill plates that light up red, like the whole car's illumination package at night. So when you open the door, those like light up and they say Denali, and it's pretty cool. And then the other big change inside for this like all-star crossover package is that the center stack is redesigned. And the tech is updated for all of that. So we have new controls for like I can go to nav, or I can have a dual screen there. I've got it on XM right now. We've got 4G LTE Wi-Fi, which is like so convenient. You get out of these GM vehicles and you really like, you take some of the technology for granted. I mean, I set up the GMC Wi-Fi once and now it just does it automatically. So now anytime I'm within like 100 feet of the car, I have GMC Terrain Wi-Fi. So that's pretty good. We're still on trial, but it's a really nice feature, and one that I think a lot of people will go for after the subscription trial has expired. Yeah, so just like really good tech. A lot of new safety features for the 2016 Terrain, including lane departure warning, cross traffic assist, blind spot warning, collision monitoring, and alerts. So it'll flash up this like red icon in the dash if it thinks you're like there's an impending collision or you're not slowing down fast enough, and then also gives you notice of the vehicles in front of you and lets you set various alert settings so you can so for whatever reason, if you're on the highway and you didn't notice you were getting too close to the people, it will warn you at like predefined points. So that's good, I guess, but not great. I mean, I kept trying to use these things. When I first saw the lane departure warning and collision alert and this stuff like all engaged, as well as the cruise control, I really thought that it had active cruise, lane sense, which, you know, like keeps you in the lanes. So I was on the highway